อะไรครับ
Was about the whole nation. For a day, political labels faded. Fairness and dignity took center stage. Each protester was a storyteller, painting a picture of what was at stake. The message to Washington: this is the American people, not a special interest. They stood together, refusing to let their future be dismantled. Unity became their greatest strength. In the digital age, protest starts online. Hash Hands Off trended within hours, as people shared stories of how the cuts would devastate their lives. Viral videos, like a grandmother choosing between food and medicine, captured the nation's heart. Social media became a megaphone, amplifying real voices and real pain. Online organizing was fast and effective: event pages, digital posters, and one-click emails to Congress. Anyone could join, no matter their experience. The movement stayed peaceful and focused, thanks to constant digital communication. Live streams showed unity and hope, countering any negative spin. The story was told by those living it, not politicians. The digital uprising turned outrage into action. On April 5th, the online roar became a real-world thunder. In D.C., crowds filled the National Mall. Across the country, similar scenes unfolded. A nurse spoke of a patient who called his Social Security check his dignity check. The crowd was moved to tears. Senior choirs sang, pastors prayed, and viral videos spread the emotion nationwide. The government tried to downplay the protests, but the sheer size and diversity made that impossible. Congressional phone lines jammed, the White House was flooded with demands to listen. By evening, the administration paused the reform package, promising to reconsider. It wasn't a total victory, but it was a monumental step. The people had spoken and been heard. The day restored faith in democracy's power. Hands off didn't just protect programs, it reignited hope. America remembered who truly holds the power. The future, for once, felt like it belonged to the people.
My name is Ethan, and I made a mistake. A big one. It started on Black Hollow Road, a place I'd never seen before. The trees pressed in, branches scraping my car as I drove deeper into the darkness. My phone was dead. The map was useless. Every turn led me further from civilization. The silence was suffocating, broken only by my heartbeat and the car's low grumble. I tried to stay calm, but the road felt wrong, hungry even. Suddenly, my car sputtered and died. Darkness swallowed me, save for a sliver of moonlight. The ignition clicked uselessly. I was stranded, alone, on a road that didn't want to let me go. I had no choice but to walk. Maybe I'd find a house, someone with a phone. I stepped out. The air was thick with decay. My footsteps echoed too loud on the gravel. Every snap in the woods made me jump. I kept glancing over my shoulder, sure I was being watched. The forest felt alive, and I was its prey. I pressed on, fear growing with every step. The darkness seemed to close in tighter. I was a mouse in a maze, and the maze was hungry. I kept walking, hoping for any sign of life. The road behind me disappeared into blackness. I was completely, utterly alone. After what felt like hours, I saw it, a house looming at the end of an overgrown driveway. Relief flickered, but fear quickly replaced it. The place looked ancient, windows like empty eyes, ivy crawling up the walls. I hesitated, but the woods behind me felt worse. I forced myself forward, gravel crunching underfoot. The front door was massive, with a gargoyle knocker. I knocked. Silence. I called out for help. Only the wind answered. The door creaked open at my touch. Inside, the air was stale and sweetly rotten. Moonlight revealed dust swirling in the vast entryway. Portraits lined the walls, their eyes following me. The house felt expectant, as if it had been waiting for me. My flashlight revealed furniture shrouded in sheets, ghostly shapes in the gloom. The door slammed shut behind me. I was trapped. I called out, but only silence and the creak of floorboards replied. Someone or something was upstairs. I searched the ground floor for a phone, moving through rooms frozen in time. In the dining room, a table was set for a meal that never happened, dust and cobwebs everywhere. Then I heard it, a whisper, soft and sad, drifting through the air. I froze, listening. Was it a girl's voice or just the wind? My fear spiked, but curiosity pushed me forward. I crept to the grand staircase, hand trembling on the banister. Each step groaned under my weight. The whispering grew louder, drawing me up into darkness. It was an invitation I couldn't resist. I climbed, heart pounding, into the unknown. The upstairs hallway was a tunnel of darkness lined with closed doors. The air was colder, the rotten sweetness stronger. I opened a door. A child's bedroom, a rocking horse, a silent music box, and a portrait of a girl in a white dress. But her face was blank, just smooth skin. Terror gripped me. I backed out, then heard a slow, rhythmic thump from down the hall. A red ball bounced by itself in an empty room. Then I saw her, a girl in a white dress, long dark hair, standing in the shadows. She turned toward me. She had no face. My blood froze. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move. The ball thumped, echoing in the silence. The faceless girl stepped closer. I was trapped in a nightmare. I couldn't scream. The faceless girl moved toward me, head tilted, studying me. The red ball rolled into a corner. I scrambled back, then ran down the stairs, out the door, into the night. Behind me, a soft, sad giggle echoed. I ran until the house vanished behind me. At dawn, I flagged down a truck. The driver listened as I babbled about the house and the girl. He shook his head. There's no house on Black Hollow Road, not anymore. He told me the Blackwood family died in a fire 50 years ago. Their daughter Lily lost with them. On moonless nights, her spirit wanders, looking for someone to play with. He looked at me, eyes dark. You were lucky to get away. Most who see the girl on Black Hollow Road are never seen again. I stared back at the empty road, haunted forever.
When a little boy takes a tumble and lands smack in the middle of a giant bowl of milk. Pure magic. So there's this little boy, right? He's padding around the kitchen in his socks. When suddenly, whoops, he slips and lands in a big milky bowl. Pause, splash sound. But does he cry? Nope. He bursts out laughing, splashing everywhere. Splash, splash, like he's in the world's silliest swimming pool. His mom rushes in, but instead of scolding, she just giggles and drops in chicken nuggets. Plop, 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 like carrots in soup. Pause, giggle sound. Suddenly, the boy shouts, "Mom, give me a spoon. I want to eat myself." Pause, laughter. She hands him a big spoon, and he stirs the milk like a royal chef. Then, bonk. A nugget lands on his head like a golden crown. "I'm the Nugget King," he declares, waving his spoon. Everyone laughs, and just like that, the silly kingdom of milk and nuggets is born. Long live the Nugget King. Pause, giggle sound.
One bright afternoon, a loud rumble echoed across the sky. People looked up and gasped. A massive giant, taller than the tallest skyscrapers of New York and Dubai, had entered the city. With every step, his enormous feet crushed cars beneath them. Roads cracked, sirens blared. But the giant simply smiled and looked around like a curious child. He climbed onto one tall building, swinging his legs like it was a park bench. Then, with an effortless jump, he landed on another skyscraper. Helicopters buzzed around him, but he paid no attention. People screamed and ran through the streets below. From above, he watched the tiny city like a toy model. Police, news reporters, and emergency forces tried to manage the chaos. But the giant wasn't angry. He was just exploring. Finally, as gently as he came, the giant stood on the tallest tower, stretched his arms wide, and began to float upward. Slowly, he rose into the sky, higher and higher, until he disappeared into the clouds. No one knew who he was or why he came. But that day, the city would never forget the day a giant walked among them.
क्रिकेट का करिश्मा, 8 दोस्तों की जबरदस्त मैच। एक खूबसूरत दोपहर का वक्त था। गर्मी की छुट्टियों का आगाज हो चुका था और मोहल्ले के तमाम बच्चे खुशी से निहाल थे। हवा में ताजगी थी और दरख्तों की छांव ने गर्मी को कदरे कम कर दिया था। ऐसे में 8 दोस्त, जिनके दिलों में क्रिकेट का बुखार था, गनी के मैदान में जमा हो चुके थे। हफ्सा, हसन, मरियम, उस्वा, उस्मान, अवैस, पंकी और चूचू सबके सब खेलने को तैयार थे। यार, आज तो मुकम्मल मैच होगा, ओवर्स कम नहीं करेंगे, हसन ने बैट थामते हुए कहा। बिल्कुल, और आज मैं विकेट कीपिंग नहीं करूंगी, मुझे बैटिंग करनी है, पंकी ने आंखें घुमाते हुए ऐलान किया। सब हंस दिए। ठीक है मैडम, आपको बैटिंग भी मिलेगी और अगर छक्का लगा तो आइसक्रीम भी मेरी तरफ से, उस्मान ने कहा। टीमों की तकसीम थोड़ी बहस और मुबाहिसे के बाद टीमें बन गईं। टीम ए, हफ्सा कैप्टन, उस्मान, अवैस, पंकी। टीम बी, हसन कैप्टन, मरियम, उस्वा, चूचू। हमारी टीम में तो अकल, ताकत और टैलेंट तीनों है, हफ्सा ने फख्र से कहा। और हमारी टीम में है चूचू, मरियम ने जोर से कहा, जिस पर सब हंस पड़े, क्योंकि चूचू की अक्सर गेंद खुद उसके पांव से टकराकर रुक जाती थी। चूचू ने मन बनाया, तुम देखना आज मैं किस तरह आउट करता हूं, बस किसी को भी मत हंसना फिर। मैच की शुरुआत, मैच का टॉस हुआ, चूचू ने सिक्का उछाला, हसन ने हेड्स कहा और वाकई हेड्स आया। टीम बी ने फील्डिंग का फैसला किया। बैटिंग की शुरुआत हफ्सा और ओवैस ने की। ओवैस हमेशा अपनी अजीब बैटिंग स्टाइल के लिए मशहूर था। वो हर गेंद पर शॉट मारने की कोशिश करता, चाहे वो गेंद जमीन से 10 फुट ऊपर ही क्यों ना हो। पहला ओवर मरियम ने कराया। उवैस ने दूसरी ही गेंद पर आसमान की तरफ बिला घुमा दिया। गेंद वाकई ऊपर गई, बहुत ऊपर, और फिर सीधी चूचू के हाथों में आ गिरी, जो हैरान कुन तौर पर कैच पकड़ चुका था। वाह चूचू, तुमने वाकई कैच पकड़ लिया, हसन चीखा। हाँ भाई, मैं सिर्फ मजाक का सामान नहीं हूं, चूचू ने फखरिया कहा। अब उस्मान बैटिंग के लिए आया। वो काफी ताकतवर था और पहली ही गेंद पर लंबा छक्का मारा। अरे ओ पंकी, वो बॉल तो तुम्हारे छत पर जा रही है, उस्मा ने हंसते हुए कहा। पंकी ने नाक चढ़ाकर कहा, मेरी छत पर आकर ही क्यों गिरती है हर बार। उस्मान और हफ्सा ने अच्छी पार्टनरशिप की और टीम ए ने 6 ओवर्स में 62 रन्स बना लिए। पंकी ने आखिरी ओवर में 2 चौके लगाकर सबको हैरान कर दिया। वक्फा और हंसी मजाक, मैच के वक्फे में सबने थोड़ा पानी पिया और हंसी मजाक भी शुरू हो गया। पंकी, तुमने तो आज धमाका कर दिया, अस्वा ने कहा। बस अब तुम लोग देखना हम कैसे तुम्हारी टीम को आउट करते हैं, हफ्सा ने हाथ नचाकर कहा। और हम जीतने के बाद जश्न में डांस भी करेंगे, उस्मान ने नाचते हुए कहा, जिस पर सब जोर जोर से हंसने लगे। टीम बी की बैटिंग अब बारी थी टीम बी की। हसन और उस्वा ओपन करने आए। हसन बहुत चालाक खिलाड़ी था, लेकिन आज वो पहली ही गेंद पर उस्मान की गेंद पर बोल्ड हो गया। चूचू अब आया। सबको उम्मीद थी कि वो कुछ नया करेगा, लेकिन वो 2 बार गिर गया और तीसरी बार रन आउट हो गया। सबने हंसी के मारे पीठ पकड़ लिए। चूचू, तुमने तो वाकई चू करवा दी टीम की, पिंकी ने कहा। आखिरी ओवर में टीम बी को जीतने के लिए 10 रन्स दरकार थे। मरियम करीज पर मौजूद थी और ओवर करवा रहा था। अवैस, पहली गेंद चौका, दूसरी गेंद 2 रन्स। सिंगल, अब 3 गेंदें बाकी और 3 रन्स दरकार थे। चौथी गेंद अवैस ने नो बॉल कराई। वाह अवैस, तुमने तो हमें फ्री का रन दे दिया, मरियम खुश होकर बोली। अब स्कोर बराबर था। 5वीं गेंद पर मरियम ने एक चौका मारा और टीम बी जीत गई। जश्न और खुशियां, सब बच्चे दौड़ते हुए मरियम के गिर्द जमा हो गए। चूचू ने उछलकर मरियम को गले लगाया और खुद फिर गिर पड़ा। ये जश्न के लिए एक्स्ट्रा स्टंट था। वो हंसा। अब तो जश्न होगा और खूब होगा, अस्वा ने तालियां बजाते हुए कहा। पिंकी ने एक स्पीकर निकाला जो वो खास करके लाई थी। म्यूजिक चला। सब बच्चों ने नाचना शुरू कर दिया। उस्मान और हसन ने मजाहिया डांस मूव्स दिखाए, जिन्हें देखकर हफ्सा और अस्वा का हंस हंस कर बुरा हाल हो गया। अरे आइसक्रीम कहाँ है, चूचू ने याद दिलाया। हाँ भाई, जो हारा है वो खिलाएगा, हफ्सा ने कहा। ये तो नाइंसाफी है, मैं तो जीता हूं, हसन बोला। जीतने वाले ने वादा किया था ना, पंकी ने मुस्कुराकर कहा। उस्मान ने झुकाकर कहा, ठीक है, सबको आइसक्रीम मेरी तरफ से। इख्तितामिया, दोस्ती, करकत और खुशी शाम के साए लंबे हो रहे थे। बच्चों ने आइसक्रीम खाई, हंसी मजाक किया और मिलकर तस्वीर भी बनाई। उनके चेहरे खुशी से दमक रहे थे। ये सिर्फ एक मैच नहीं था, ये एक यादगार लम्हा था, जिसमें दोस्ती, मुकाबला, मजाक और खुशियां सब शामिल थी। और चूचू ने जाते जाते फिर गिरकर सबको हंसा दिया।
Football match. Car, dog, monkey, and rabbit. One bright sunny morning in Animal Meadow, excitement filled the air. A grand football match was about to begin. Not between ordinary players, but between a car, a dog, a monkey, and a rabbit. The match was to take place in the large grassy field near the river. Animals from all over the forest came to watch. Birds perched on branches, squirrels sat on rocks, and even the frogs near the pond were croaking in excitement. Kickoff. The referee, an old wise owl, blew his whistle, and the match began. The dog was quick and full of energy. He barked joyfully as he chased the ball, wagging his tail. The monkey was clever, using his long tail and fast hands to do tricks and flips. The rabbit was the fastest, zooming from one end of the field to the other in seconds. And then there was the car, shiny red and ready to roll. Though it didn't have feet, it zoomed around smoothly, kicking the ball with its bumper. First goal. The dog barked loudly, passed the ball to the monkey, who did a backflip and passed it to the rabbit. Rabbit raced ahead, but vroom. The car zoomed in and blocked the ball just in time. With a loud beep, it kicked the ball across the field and scored the first goal. The crowd cheered. Car, car, car. Second half. Not ready to give up, the dog, monkey, and rabbit worked together. We have to use teamwork, shouted the monkey. They made a clever plan. The rabbit distracted the car by running in circles. The monkey leaped onto a tree branch and swung forward, passing the ball mid-air to the dog. The dog jumped and boom, scored the goal. Now it was 1-1. Final minutes. The sun began to set and both teams were eager to win. The car spun its wheels and the monkey climbed high to spot where to move next. Rabbit and dog ran side by side. With only a minute left, the ball rolled near the goal. Suddenly, everyone stopped. A small turtle was slowly walking across the field. All the players waited patiently. When the turtle reached the other side safely, the game resumed. With one last chance, the dog kicked the ball to Rabbit. Rabbit made a quick hop, passed it to the monkey, who flipped in the air, landing the ball right in front of the car. But this time, the car didn't kick. Instead, it nudged the ball back to the rabbit, letting him score. Victory and friendship, goal, shouted the crowd. The final score was 2-1, and the match ended. But no one really cared who won. The players hugged, laughed, and celebrated together. That evening, under the stars, they all shared juice and carrots. The car beeped happily, the dog wagged his tail, the monkey did funny dances, and the rabbit nibbled a biscuit. It wasn't just a game. It was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Rotten skin. Ayan, a silent village. Not a single human was in sight. Suddenly, he heard growling. Shadows moved. Zombies appeared from the darkness with glowing eyes and rotten skin. Terrified, Ion ran through broken streets and abandoned buildings. But the zombies were faster. They cornered him in an alley. He screamed, "Help!" But no one answered. Just then, a flash lit the sky. A superhero with a red cape and glowing eyes landed with a thunderous boom. "Leave him alone," he shouted. The hero fought the zombies with the punches and bright energy. The monsters were defeated. He picked up Ion and flew into the sky, far from danger. "Thank you," Ion whispered. The hero smiled. "You're safe now." They landed in a peaceful valley, birds flying above. Ion realized, even in a world full of darkness, a hero can still shine.